It looks fine.
It was not squishy after I washed the curl out after I washed it. You gonna feel along today? Please.
I don't feel good.
I don't feel good either today, guys. We was both sick last night. All night we didn't get much sleep. Both of our stomachs are messed up. Sherm's weight's dropping like crazy. I've been trying to feed him, and the way his stomach's messed up, he's still dropping weight fast. I thought for sure when he told me his weight this morning it was actually going to be up. But no, he's actually dropped more weight. About 5 more pounds within a couple days. I don't have that problem, but he does. My stomach just hurts. I have other problems with mine. Okay, we have a lot, mostly Jesus talking today in Matthew today. You are going to follow along? Okay, so let me get Sherm set up for our Bible reading here, and I'll get you guys set up. So let me go back up here then. So it'll take a minute because Sherm hasn't followed along in a while. So today we're going to be reading Matthew 18. We actually did a Bible study on this the other day. Matthew chapter 18, verses 1 through 20. When you get that, let me know. Oh, the air. But it's right on your page at me. This is the fan. You might need to sit on the couch. I don't know if you can hear over there good enough by that fan. I'm sure wears hearing aids sometimes. You can't hear very well. He's actually supposed to wear them all the time, but got that marked? Yeah. Okay, and then we'll be reading Psalm 22, verses 19 through 31. Right after I washed my hair, like I took a shower last night, and right after I wash my hair, it gets super, super curly. Or if it's going to rain, my hair gets super curly. Always has ever since I was little. Whenever it was going to rain, my hair would get really curly, or when my hair was washed, it'd get really curly. Every time, both times. And anyway, but if you brush the curl out the next day or whatever, it gets really super bushy. Like this, or worse. You got that marked? Okay, and Proverbs chapter 5, verses 15 through 21. It's always been super thick ever since I was young, except when my hair started getting really thin and falling out, which is part of the problem with PCOS, which I have. But I was it was getting really, really bad. And I was getting paler than usual. And the doctor kept telling me my blood count was going down, and it was getting lower and lower. I didn't know how low it was until they told me it was, started telling me how low it was getting, and then referred me to a cancer center, to a hematologist a few years ago. And I went there, then they finally told me they connected it, they think, to my stomach disease, saying my body wasn't letting me absorb iron anymore.
Proverbs what?
Huh?
Proverbs what?
Proverbs chapter 5, verses 15 through 21. That's why I can't take the iron pills or anything. So I had to have 2 blood transfusions and an iron transfusion. And I've had two other iron transfusions since then. B12. I've been there several times for blood work. I got this blood band I got to wear. I take with me every time I go. I was actually supposed to go back months ago. I need to go back next month to get blood work done. I've rescheduled it several times. I really need to go back to get it checked back out. Are you ready? Are you guys ready? Okay. So now, let's get started with Matthew. The greatest in the kingdom of heaven. At that time, the disciples came to Jesus and asked, "Who then is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven?" He called a little child to him and placed the child among them, and he said, and these are Jesus' words, until we stop Matthew today. "Truly I tell you, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Therefore, whoever takes the lowly position of this little child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven, and whoever welcomes one such child..." Wait, you're wondering what's going on, aren't you, sure?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I forgot to change it. I forgot. Sherm was following along. I forgot. Well, I was sitting here all this time. I need to change the version. I need to change it to New King James. I was in New International. Alright. We should be good to go now. At that time the disciples came to Jesus, saying, "Who then is greatest in the kingdom of heaven?" Then Jesus called a little child to him, set him in the midst of them, and said, "Assuredly, as I say to you, unless you are converted and become as little children, you will by no means enter the kingdom of heaven. Therefore, whoever humbles himself as this little child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Whoever receives one little child like this in my name receives me. But whoever causes one of these little ones who believes in me to sin, it would be better for him if a millstone were hung around his neck and he were drowned in the depth of the sea. Woe to the world because of the offenses, for offenses must come, but woe to the man by whom the offense comes. If your hand or foot causes you to sin, cut it off and cast it from you. If it is better for you to enter into life lame or maimed, rather than having 2 hands or 2 feet, to be cast into the everlasting fire. And if your eye causes you to sin, pluck it out and cast it from you. It is better for you to enter into life with 1 eye, rather than having 2 eyes to be cast into hell fire. Take heed that you do not despise one of these little ones. For I say to you that in heaven their angels always see the face of my Father who is in heaven. For the Son of Man has come to save that which was lost. What do you think? If a man has 100 sheep, and one of them goes astray, does he not leave the 99 and go to the mountains to seek the one that is starving? And if he should find it, assuredly I say to you, he rejoices more over that sheep than over the 99 that did not go astray. Even so it is, not the will of your Father who is in heaven, that one of these little ones should perish. Moreover, if your brother sins against you, go and tell him his fault between you and him alone. If he hears you, you have gained your brother. But if he will not hear you, take with you 1 or 2 more, that by the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established. And if he refuses to hear them, tell it to the church. But if he refuses even to hear the church, let him be to you like a heathen and a tax collector. Assuredly I say to you, whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. Again I say to you, that if 2 of you agree on earth concerning anything that they ask, it will be done for them by my Father in heaven. For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, I am there in the midst of them. Amen. And that is where we're going to stop with Jesus' words in the book of Matthew today. And now we are going to Psalm 22, verses 19 through 31. You ready? But you, O Lord, do not be far from me. O my strength, hasten to help me. Deliver me from the sword, my precious life from the power of the dog. Save me from the lion's mouth and from the horns of the wild oxen. You have answered me. I will declare your name to my brethren. In the midst of the assembly I will praise you. You who fear the Lord, praise him. All you descendants of Jacob, glorify him. And fear him, all you offspring of Israel. For he has not despised nor adored the affliction of the afflicted, nor has he hidden his face from him. But when he cried to him, he heard. My praise shall be with you in the assembly. I will pay my vows before those who fear him. The poor shall eat and be satisfied. Those who seek him will praise the Lord. Let your heart live forever. All the ends of the world shall remember and turn to the Lord, and all the families of the nations shall worship before you. For the kingdom is the Lord's, and he rules over the nations, and the prosperous of the earth shall eat and worship. All those who go down to the dust shall bow before him. Even he who cannot keep himself alive, a posterity shall serve him. It will be recounted to the Lord to the next generation. It will be recounted to the Lord to the next generation. They will come and declare his righteousness to a people who will be born, that he has done this. Amen. And so on, as long as we keep telling it to our children, and our children to their children, and so on. All right, guys, and now we are going to read Proverbs chapter 5, verses 15 through 21. Ready? Drink water from your own cistern, and running water from your own well. Should your fountains be dispersed abroad, streams of water in the streets, let them be only your own, and not for strangers with you. Let your fountain be blessed, and rejoice with your wife of your youth. As a loving deer and a graceful doe, let her breast satisfy you at all times, and always be enraptured with her love. For why should you, my son, be enraptured by an immoral woman, and be embraced in the arms of a seductress? For the ways of a man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he ponders all his paths. Still talking about the ways of an adulterous woman. Alright guys, and that was our Bible reading for today. I hope it touched your guys' hearts. Let me get out our question for yesterday. And remember I told you it was a tricky one because you had to listen closely to the words. Who was the high priest of Jerusalem? Who was the high priest of Jerusalem when Jesus was on trial? And the answer you should have came up with was, do you know who it was, sir? The high priest in Jerusalem when Jesus was on trial? That would have been Cappius. Cappius. Okay, here's a question for tonight. How does Judas signal Jesus' identity to the Roman officials when they go to arrest Jesus? Judas tells them that he's going to give them a signal that Jesus is the one and they are to arrest him. What does he use as the signal to let them know Jesus is the one to arrest? What signal does he give them? How does he betray Jesus? With what signal? It's a simple one. And Jesus knows exactly what he's doing. And he tells him to do it and do it quickly. And he tells him, you betray the Son of Man with a... So that is your question for tonight. Okay. And our prayer requests are, they remain the same. I do have one update. Please keep Lonnie Doles Jr. and family in your prayers. Or two updates. Please keep Jimmy Myers in your prayers. I guess he didn't get off at 7. He got off at 9 o'clock. I haven't heard. I heard, I'm sure he liked it really well. I haven't heard. But I did hear that they liked him really well, which I knew they would because Jimmy's a really good worker. So they'll probably be wanting him to work more next summer. He'll probably be offered a job, I would say, because they liked him really well. And I'm sure he liked it because he's been begging everybody for work. So I got that update there. There was between 200 and 400 people. It was like a big hunting club kind of thing. Sherman Crabtree's not feeling well at all today. His stomach's messed up. Like I said, he's losing weight. No matter how much he eats, he's still losing weight. Abby Myers, Rhonda Karshner, Layla and her son Emil, Michelle Watkins. Sorry I haven't got to talk to you much lately, Michelle. Our hours have been all messed up. I don't know if you're gonna watch this or not, but our hours have been all messed up, where we haven't been feeling well, and our sleeping hours are all messed up. We haven't been sleeping after, like I said, our hours are just all messed up. Haven't been feeling well, we gotta sleep when you can. Judy Thompson, Cindy and Jim Welsh, Dora Carper, Garnet Boyer and Jim Mitchell. My sister Melody Stanley, I talked to her, and she is leaving for rehab today. She'll be going a pretty good ways from here, and she'll be going for a while, she said. So please keep her in your prayers. April and Linda Thacker, Bart Post, Randy Post, Sammy, and Paco. Okay. Alright guys, that was everything for today. I hope it touched your guys' hearts. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Let's bring those souls to Jesus, and God willing, we'll see you guys again tomorrow with another Bible reading. Bye guys. God bless.